Well, hello everybody. I am trying to get some camera stuff done. That's too much. I think that looks better for right now. Oh, whoa. That looks better than it did, for sure. All right. Let me put this back where it needs to go and let me do some testing. We're doing something from a slightly different angle. We're going to go back just a little bit. There we go. All right. Uh, those of you that are watching, if you go ahead and like and share, that would be absolutely amazing. Let me go to Rumble to make sure that I'm up and running on there. Yeah, there we go. All right, let me see how it sounds. I don't know. Let's see. Oh, it sounds like it's muted. How is it? Oh, did I mute the page? Oh, there we go. All right, we're up and running. All right. So I want to say thank you so much for watching this. Thank you so much for tuning in on the live today. We're going to try something new. We're going to do the call-in function. If you want to um, call in, oh, so I can put this somewhere. Let's put that in the corner right there. All right. There we go. All right. Cool beans. All right. Hopefully everyone has had a good day. I've got a couple people that are watching on Rumble. That's absolutely fine. Who that is. But wanted to let's go here. We're gonna go to split screen. And we're going to talk about our verse of the day today, which is going to be something that I really like. So if you're watching on Facebook, thank you so much for tuning in on Facebook. You can watch on Rumble Live, and we are doing calls as well. So if you are interested in having a conversation, if you just want to talk, um, just to kind of have a good time there, that would be absolutely amazing. Um, okay. Oh, all right. So, today's verse of the day that we shared this morning was Luke chapter 12, verse 6. Jesus is saying, are not five sparrows sold for 2 pennies, and not one of them is forgotten by God? I love, in comparison, the two verses of scriptures that talk about this, because in one section it talks about one bird being bought for a penny, the other one talks about two birds being bought for a penny. Regardless of whether it's one bird or two birds, the message is the same, which is this: if God values the birds, which he does by providing for them, how much more does he value us? Because he created us different. He created us special. He created us as a part of his creation, a special part of his creation, though he gave us free will and he gave us the soul that we have, completely differentiating us from other parts of his creation. How much more does he love us? So something to remind us that God still loves us today. And look, I love that the little pictures that come in here. For those that might not know, this is where I get my um, verses of the day. This is the Logos Bible app. I'm not sponsored by them because I'm not sponsored by anyone. But the Logos Bible app is absolutely amazing. I'm using the Legacy edition because I don't pay for the monthly subscription, but they are a monthly subscription program now. You can get a couple hundred books. Off of that subscription, and then you can buy different libraries. And I've got a pretty extensive library on here, and I tried to add to my library on here for a couple of reasons. One, bookshelves are expensive. And number two, it allows for better space. And I tend to like reading online anyways on my iPad when I do read. And they also have a function where it reads for you, but it does sound like a 1990s computer. But it's better than nothing. So for those that might be jumping in any moment, again, we are accepting phone calls. If you are watching on Rumble and you would be interested in talking about your faith, talking about salvation, talk about current events, or ask questions, we just want to have a good conversation in doing that. So, um, oh, I think I got an additional follower today. I know I've got one extra person. And if you're watching this, please comment. Let me know where you're watching from. That way I can hear from you. Yep. All right. And the more you share it, the more we talk about it, the better off that we are. One of the things that I want to do is to be able to put out more content online. For me to do that, any gifts and anything that we are able to give helps that. Uh, whether you're watching on Rumble or Facebook, so I'm just making sure all my not my subscriptions, all my different areas are streaming. Oh, that was not the right button. Does it show that I'm live? Um, right. So we're gonna try to do this a couple times a week here on Rumble. I might start doing a couple other things on my iPad in the other side of my room. Um, for those that don't know, I am a musician. I am a singer, which is relatively new. I'm a pastor. I'm a teacher, and I love the Word of God. I love being able to talk about our faith, and I'm an imperfect human. There's a lot of areas I wish I could improve on, and this is just a time and a place where we can discuss about God and really strive and encourage each other to walk in a closer relationship with others. And that's kind of the hope that, or what I hope that we're able to do. And then I'm going to add, now that that's charged a little bit, we'll add one more thing. So in this hour or so that we're going to be live, All right. So we are live now on several different platforms. We are live on Facebook. We are live on Rumble. We are live on YouTube. We are live on Twitch. We are live on X. And we are live on other stuff. Hold on. What else are we live on? Oh, we are live on Facebook, on TikTok as well. Though TikTok is a separate thing that's going to be over here. So again, this is a time that we can come in and have a conversation. Um, if you're watching on TikTok, you'll have to go on Rumble to be a part of the call conversation. But you can always submit your comments, and as I see them, that I'll be able to. Uh, uh, Read them out and then try to answer them. Um, a couple of the things that I'm just not, um, and even today, I did a video, or we do the video today. This is a video from a sermon we did last week, and you know the gotcha questions or the gotcha comments. Those are the things that are absolutely um, amazing. Just how often we get the same questions, the same comments, and the ultimate answer is either context, either the lack of context, or there's some things that we just really don't know why God did this or said this. Some of it is a misunderstanding on what the text is trying to say, but they always try to use them as gotchas. So, hey, Lily. Um, let me add a goal. What's my goal on here? Let's do, I want, um, okay, I don't know what that is. We'll start that. We're going to do that. And we're going to pin that. All right. So, I thought it said that John was on here. All right. So, shared. Thank you for sharing the live. If you are watching this on YouTube or you're watching this on Rumble, share the live. Let me hear from you. Let me go to the comment section. All right, that's me that has said that. All right, so uh, again, going back into some of the things that I like to talk about. Um, Oftentimes, people want to get those gotcha statements, and I think there's some good conversations to have for those. But I want to do something deeper. I want to have those kind of conversations. So, especially on TikTok, it's very easy for us to get those gotcha statements and things of that nature. I'm not really wanting to spend a lot of time on that because here's what gotcha statements means, and Christians do this too. Is that if I come at you with a whole bunch of gotcha statements, my mind is closed, my heart is closed, and I'm just trying to tell you, I'm just trying to give you, to tell my event and walk off. I'm not interested in learning. I'm not interested in listening. My goal on these, the audio is odd. Oh, I wonder if it's because, tell me if the audio is better. All right. I might, let's, all right. Audio should be better now because you're not listening to me from my pocket, because my earbud was in my pocket. All right. Those of you that are watching on Facebook, or if you're watching on Rumble, if you're watching on YouTube, let me know where you're watching from. Um, and I need to pull up Facebook because I know that I'm not able to see those there. And if you're watching on TikTok, please, 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 let me know where you're watching from. I want us to have a good conversation. If we don't end up having a conversation, I'll kind of talk here a little bit here and there. That'd be no problem. Um, doop, 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 doop. Let hear from you. Tell me where. All right. So, So what we're going to do is here is the conversation that I want us to have. What is your favorite Bible moment? For those that are watching, what is your favorite Bible moment? What are what's the times that you're like, "Oh man, this verse of scripture is just really awesome," or um, this is your go-to verse. Not necessarily just a verse, your favorite verse, because I would have to say that, Philippians, I can do all things through Christ is not a moment, that's a verse, but in the historical account of the Bible, what is that moment? What is that thing that you thought, man, that is absolutely amazing how um, they did this? Or favorite thing, I'm going to try something. Well, don't judge the room. Nope, nope, nope. I don't like it. All right, I like this better. Let me do one more thing. Oh, hit the wrong button. All right. Thank you so much for those that are watching on TikTok. Again, we are asking, what are your favorite Bible moments? If there's a question that you have or something that you want to ask, we're taking calls on rumble.com. If you have a Rumble account, you can call, you can go on Rumble, look worship, the number four, lifeministries.com, worshipforlifeministries.com. We can have that conversation. If you're on TikTok, not going to be able to hear you on that, but what you can do is put in your question in the comments as I read them, and then we'll be able to go from there um, as more people join in. But what, you know, one of the things that we want to talk about is what are our favorite Bible moments? Where you're watching from, little town in North Carolina. You're 30 foot away from me, which is funny. That's my wife. All right. And I just shared this on my Facebook, my personal Facebook, so hopefully more people will kind of get in here. And this is something that's new, so we'll see how it kind of develops as it goes from there. Um, I'm assuming that is for something else. All right. So, what would be some of my favorite Bible moments? One of my favorite Bible moments for me is, let's see, no, we do that. One of my favorite Bible moments is during the prayer of Elijah. Nope, yeah, Elijah. There are several times in the Bible where there is a comedic aspect to the prophets. Um, Elijah, excuse me, is basically combating the Baal worshippers. Um, he's challenged them to see whose God is really all powerful. And he says, "Look, we're both going to get a bull. It'll be around the same size bull. We're both going to have an altar, or we're going to build an altar, and you can do it however you want to. You're going to put a bull on the altar. You cannot light it up or anything like that. Your God must light it up. That's what you're supposed to do. You're going to light it up, or the God's going to light it up." And the Baal worshippers go and they're praying, they're cutting themselves, they're doing all these things, they're getting desperate, and Elijah starts throwing some shade at them and kind of starts throwing some junk at them, going, "Oh well, maybe your God is using the bathroom. Maybe he's not listening to you. So um, let me listen to spam. All right." Um, which is absolutely hilarious for the simple fact of there's potty jokes in the Bible, and I find that hilarious. Those are some of my favorite moments. And there's another part in the prophet Ehud, which is the only left-handed person in the Bible. If you ever have that question, like I did in the entrance exam for my Bible college, which absolutely it is for real. And AI summary analyzing the story Elijah's challenge to the prophets. The AI is like reviewing what we're talking about in real time. That's not scary. All right. But Ehud goes and kind of does the same thing. He goes in to win power over Israel, the Israelites, and to conquer the approaching army. He goes to this king. They check his left side for a sword, and he doesn't have one. But what they don't know is he's left-handed. Um, so he would have a sword on his right side. So that kind of helped him out there. Goes to the king and describes the king as being morbidly obese, takes a sword, rams the sword through his belly to where his fat rolls cover up the sword, walk out, and basically says something of the same thing. He's like, "Oh, he's relieving himself," basically as a way of, "Don't go in there right now because you're going to make him mad." It's absolute those kind of moments of just that sarcasm or that sense of humor I enjoy in the Bible. And yes, that's a very juvenile view of it. There are some beautiful parts of the Bible, don't get me wrong, but how often do we feel bad for having a sense of humor, and or we talk to people who are Christians, and especially as a pastor, I talk to other pastors, and it seems like every bit of their sense of humor has left them. There's absolutely no one that is actively that, like, they have no desire to just be fun you know so those are some of my favorite parts. So if you're watching, for those that are watching on YouTube or Rumble or Facebook, let me know, and on TikTok, what are some of your favorite Bible moments. Again, we're calling in, so you are able to go to rumble.com and join Worship for Life Ministries and call in. We're accepting callers now. Oh, that's convenient. I'm learning all my buttons. That might have been me. All right. They got ads on my stuff, which is awesome. So I got two people. I got two people that are watching on Rumble. Let me hear from you. Unless you're a bot. If you're a bot, then you're not going to let me hear from you. So, and it says I got one person watching on YouTube. Thank you so much for watching on YouTube. Again, comment. Let me know where you're TikTok. Let me know where you're watching from. Thank you so much for joining in. Hello. So we are talking about what are some of our favorite Bible moments. What are some of the conversations? Um, if you want to, we're doing a call-in show on rumble.com. I know, I see the picture. It took me a second. I was like, I think I know who that is. All right. But we are live on Rumble and doing a call in. If you have a Rumble account, we want to invite you um, to call in. Let's have a conversation. If you cannot, hey, Bible teacher Gave. My name has been messed up many times. Gave is not necessarily one that I get a lot. There we go. That's the fix. All right. So, what are some of your favorite Bible moments? Like I said, mine was Elijah kind of throwing shade at the prophets of Baal, saying their God is on the toilet or not listening or just doesn't care, and then completely fix my echo. What echo? I can't hear what I sound like on TikTok. I shouldn't have an echo because I shouldn't have Bluetooth on. Oh, it might be the actual echo in my room. Um, I don't know. I guess maybe there's a slight echo in the room. But the audio is better on Rumble. So if you got a Rumble account, go to Rumble. Um, Join in there and call in. It's not slight. I don't know. Is there a? Let's see if there's a filter. I haven't gone live on this in so long. Oh, that's not the button I need. Nope, I don't know why I have an echo. It could be through the headset to the phone. My headset's not connected to the phone. TikTok is completely acoustic. Um, where I'm live on Facebook, Rumble, YouTube, and Twitter, and well, X and Twitch. That's where the headset is. So if you go to any of those sites and look up "Worship for Life Ministries," worship the number 4 Life Ministry, you'll be able to hear it and not have that echo. It's fixed. I've done nothing. So much like many things with computers, if I just look at it enough, it fixes itself. So, um, look, do you have a Rumble account? Because I think we could have some pretty cool conversations. Um, or if I don't know, or if you have, tell me what some of your favorite Bible moments in there. Not your favorite Bible verse, because those tend to be little snippets, but the some of your favorite moments in the Bible. Hey, hopefully y'all are having a great summer. I got a couple of my students on my TikTok um, watching in. So, again, we are doing a live call in show or a live call on Rumble. Go to rumble.com. If you don't have an account, go ahead and sign you up for an account. Look for Worship for Life Ministries. Worship, the number 4 Life Ministries. Let me pull up my page. We'll do this. We're going to go rumble.com and we're going to, let's go to my channel. That's not the button I needed to hit. Here we go. My channels. Here we go. All right. So that's a horrible thumbnail currently right there. But if you are watching um, on anything other than Rumble, you can go to rumble.com, look for Worship, the number 4 Life Ministries. We're going to do this. We're going to switch it. Bam. Oh my goodness. Dinks is watching my TikTok. Thank you. That blows my mind. Wow. Okay. So I I didn't like my own thing. That is absolutely awesome. All right. They have changed buttons. Nope. That is not what I need to. All right. So if you go to rumble.com and look for Worship for Life Ministries. That is the page that we're doing a live call in for. Um, and I'm asking, Dinks, I would be honored if you can tell me what is your favorite Bible moment, not favorite Bible verse, just because those could be little things, but favorite moment in the Bible, some of your favorite moments. Um, I'm a very sarcastic person. I love to have a good laugh. So some of the jokes that are sprinkled throughout the Bible are some of my favorite Bible moments. Um, Again, and AI keeps popping it back up. So whether we're talking about um, Elijah and the prophets of Baal, and Elijah throwing some shade at them, or Ehud, basically saying the king's kind of taking a rest or taking it way back. When Boaz goes through the effort of redeeming Ruth, yeah, that I always found absolutely amazing. Just for the simple fact he's like kind of low key flirting with her. He's just like, we see this woman, she's obviously in need, she obviously needs a little something, so let's leave a little extra grain, leave a little extra bit here and there that are able to, so she's able to glean up more. You know that passive aggressive, hey, I'm interested or you're interested kind of deal. That's awesome. That's awesome. um so again, if you're watching on Rumble, you can call in. If you're not watching on Rumble, you can move to Rumble. But we'll go in. Tell me, what are some of your favorite Bible moments? Where's my button? Oh, I need to bring this down. Here we go. All right. So, nope. So, um, why is it one of the things that I love talking? The reason why we talk about Bible moments, the reason why we talk about Bible stories, is it allows us to go deeper into the meaning of Scripture. Each story has a beautiful impact on what ultimately becomes the gospel, what ultimately becomes the truth that God has given us. Because we have the New Testament, because we have Jesus, when we look at the Old Testament, like Boaz, when we look at stories like Elijah and Elisha, or King David and King Solomon, when we look at all these stories in the full context of Scripture, we see a beautiful story playing up, leading to our salvation, leading to our forgiveness, and then ultimately leading to the end of days, the day that the Lord comes and takes control, and rules over all that there is. Um, so when we discuss these Bible stories, it allows us to see it allows us to see how God has moved throughout the history of the Bible, and also without making us the main character, because that can be a problematic. It allows us to also have a foundation to stand on when looking at, this is what God was able to do with others, so I know God can do something for me. David was not perfect, though David was highly regarded, highly recommended by so many people, and then come to find out, he gets to a place where he has this massive sin in his life, and it breaks. It ultimately, at the end of it, he's grieving this sin. He's grieving the dying, the eventual death of his son, and he's repented of his heart. And we don't go back and go, well, he sinned, so we kind of write him off, kind of deal. But what we do is, that story reminds us of the humanity of David, and that even someone who has the title and has kept the title man after God's own heart, even they're going to sin, even they're going to um, make a mistake, even they are going to run into some issues. So when we make mistakes, when we run into issues, it allows us to remember and to know that God has not wrote us out. God hasn't just forgotten us or gotten rid of us because we've made a mistake. And the reality is, as long as we continue to walk towards Him, it is that's, that God is still going to be there. And even when we're not living it up to Him, He still loves us and takes care of us and wants us to have a conversation with Him. Um, Ruth is my temple name. That's cool. All right. So we are asking, what are your favorite Bible moments? So as you're coming in, what are your favorite Bible moments? And again, we are also doing, um, we're also doing a live call on rumble.com. If you have a Rumble account, go to rumble.com, and um, you are able to request to call in. We are worshipforlifeministries.com. Worship, the number four, Life Ministries. Um, Hey, hope you have had a great Friday. I have had a pretty good Friday. Um, what is your favorite gift you ever received from a loved one? I don't know. Let's see. I have to think on that. Modestly excommunicated. You used to be a Mormon. All right. So let me ask you this. Um, this is on TikTok for those that are watching there. But what? So if you was a Mormon, if you used to be a Mormon, what was the thing that kind of pulled you out of the Mormon faith? Oh, that is a very sweet answer. That's a very sweet answer. Um, my wife for Christmas one year basically let us redo our honeymoon, which our honeymoon was great. But we live here in North Carolina, and one of our favorite cities to visit is Wilmington. It's just a couple out. It's a little over an hour away, and we went to a very fancy-esque restaurant that overlooks the Cape Fear River. Um, Lena, hey, Lena, sorry, I don't know why I said that wrong. I said that weird. Um, so that was an awesome gift. We also stayed at a hotel beside the hotel that we wanted to stay in. That was a mistake on her side, but it was still a great time. Beautiful hotel, um, and we just had a great time. It was freezing though. All right, so I wonder if that lady left. Modestly excommunicated. Are you still in here? Let's see. That tells me my top viewers, but not my. Nope. Oh, wanted to ask her why she left. Yep, we are doing awesome. We are doing awesome. Hope y'all are doing well. Tell everybody we said hey back your way. All right, Miss Dawn, thank you so much for joining in. Again, we're asking, what are your favorite Bible moments? Favorite Bible moments. The people kind of jumping in and jumping out. Um, let's see if we got any comments that I might have missed because let's see. No, don't. Let's not do that there. Let's do that. Oh, we can do it here. That quick button there. Any comments over here? No, nope, I don't see anything. All right. Favorite Bible moments. To the few that are watching on TikTok, to the ones that are watching on Facebook, thank you so much. On Rumble, thank you so much. And I know as we go live a couple times, a couple things that I'm interested in trying to start doing, especially on TikTok. I don't know if I would do it through Rumble Studios or however, but I am going to set up uh, a the piano or my piano and do some songs and stuff. I want to get back into writing music. I don't know if not many people know that I used to write songs. And way back when MySpace was a thing, and I think I used to be able to go and hunt down a part of a riff that a good friend of mine named Andrew uh, invented, that he did, and I learned the bass part of it because that's the instrument that I play. Obviously, this broken bass over here that I have a dream of fixing up. But um, when I was in college, I used to write music quite a bit, and I think very early on we probably had 4 or 5 songs that we played, and I wrote the words and somebody else wrote the music. We kind of did that kind of together as a group, the several of us. Obviously, we didn't go anywhere. But the songs I loved, and I wish I still had them. From changing from computer to computer, eventually I lost them, and it's kind of sad because like there's a song that I wrote in honor of my father that I can't that I there's no way of me getting it back, and it kind of tells the story of walking through the last few months of his life, from my perspective. My father passed away in 2008 to cancer, and I knew that when he was diagnosed with cancer. My dad was a great man. Everybody in the community loved him. He helped people. He did everything that he could to help others. But I knew his soul, his heart was not given over to God. And I knew that uh, the biggest reason was, or later I kind of come to the conclusion that the biggest reason was is he thought that he was done so many bad things that there was absolutely no way that he was going to found salvation. And ultimately, through this sickness, um, he had an experience in which, at the end of this experience, he knew that he needed salvation. He knew that he needed Christ, and we called our family pastor at the time and had him come out and we talked with him about salvation. He received salvation. Um, and then from then on, like he would have my sister who was able to be there to read books about heaven or hell, and really he really did um, turn his heart over to God. Not favorite Bible verse. That's different. So some great Bible verses. Mine would be 16 and 17. John 3:16 and 17. 17 super important for me. But favorite Bible moments is really what I'm looking for. Like favorite story and why. Favorite Bible story and why. Um, Let me see if I have any comments here. Nope. All right. But Jesus and Nicodemus. I love that story. I love that story. Just the simple fact of, well, I guess, tell me why that's your favorite story. Like, what makes it one of your favorite Bible moments? Um, but going back to my song, or going back to the story, so my father received salvation roughly about 3 or 4 months into his sickness. So it was about 3 months later when he passed away, and I remember sitting in my car at the time, and I was writing, and he's already received salvation. He had already passed on, but I remember writing, "Lord, save my father. Lord, heal my father. But if you won't heal him, save his soul." That I was more worried about his soul than his body, and I wrote it in that mindset. Like the first verse, man, I haven't thought about this song in probably 15 years. But the first verse was him being diagnosed and knowing that time that doesn't have a lot of time left, and that my hope is that he will find salvation, um, that he would find healing. But even if God, even if you don't heal him, will you please save his soul? That I'm okay with either one. Give him more time to find salvation or to give him salvation and let him come home. And there was 2 verses that really kind of uh, personified what this battle was about watching him get sick. And then the bridge or the turnaround, the last verse of this song, um, talks about him closing his eyes and opening it and seeing Jesus. And how I loved writing that verse because I truly think that that's happened. And that he opened his eyes and he sees Jesus, and Jesus says, "Welcome in, and you're healed." And the chorus in that follows that verse changes, and it just says, "Thank you for healing my father, and thank you for saving his soul." So I really wish I could go back and find these songs. Um, I really do. But we're going to look at trying to get back into that a little bit because it shows a person in the high religious authority position being a Pharisee to accept Jesus. Yes, and I think also it shows that uh, this high religious figure, um, though there was some maybe fear or some need to be covert because he comes to Jesus at night, but earnestly comes to ask these questions. Where all the other Pharisees came for those gotcha moments. Jenny, thank you for coming in. But they come in for those gotchas, but he came in for a legitimate reason. Um, and humbled himself enough to ask the questions and entertain Jesus. And I love how The Chosen depicts it. Um, that earnesty that's there. I love that verse. I love that verse. And then it goes into how, uh, and this is how my brain functions differently than some, or I look at it differently than others. But the fact that we tend to overcomplicate it, are um, we overcomplicate the gospel. We have a great knack of doing that. We do that very regularly. So um, Nicodemus is overthinking what Jesus is saying. Well, you must be born again. What am I supposed to do? Go back to my mother? My mother's dead. How am I supposed to go back to my mother? I'm not talking about a physical birth. I'm talking about a spiritual rebirth. So, um, thank you so much for liking and sharing. Tell me your favorite Bible moments. Favorite Bible moments. If you want to talk, we are streaming TikTok. We're also streaming on Facebook, on Rumble, on YouTube, on Twitch, on X. And if you have a Rumble account, you can go to rumble.com and go to worship, the number 4 Life Ministries, and you can call in. Um, and we can have a conversation, talk about faith, talk about modern events, talk about really kind of a little bit of whatever you would want to come and talk about. But um, while we're giving some time for that, I do want to say, kind of go back to those questions. What are your favorite Bible moments as we are getting there? All right. See if I can get any more. Let's see. Oh, but go back to talking about what we were talking about a little bit before. So getting back into writing and music, maybe doing some playing and singing on one day a week or one a couple days a week. Maybe doing a conversation based, kind of like what we're striving to do today. Um, I don't. I don't regularly think Fridays will be a regular thing. Maybe every other Friday, because I tend to play a game, TTP, TTRPG, with some family online on Fridays, so every other Friday. So Fridays might not be a thing that we do constantly. I've played music with. Yes, you have. If you need a competent bass player, I know I know of one. I think he does a really good job. Um, let's see. But whether we do do calls like I'm striving to do today, or music, or on Wednesday nights from 7 to 8, we do a Bible study at my church. We are in the book of Romans, which is absolutely amazing. I absolutely love the book of Romans. And it's called The Truth About Salvation. If you don't have anywhere to go on Wednesdays and you are in and around the Clinton area, I invite you to come and be in person. If not, we stream that on my Facebook and my Twitch. I'm trying to remember, not my Facebook, Worship for Life Ministries Facebook, and Twitch, my Twitch, and then we do the church, which is Bethany Church on YouTube. We do their Facebook and their YouTube channel as well. But then I chop it up, and you see bits and pieces of it on all of our social medias. You also see it posted fairly soon afterwards on my YouTube and on my Facebook. So if you like to see a Bible study, join in on that. Um, I might start trying to do the one on TikTok. I wonder how that would work. We'll have to see how that goes. Kind of like this, where I have both things. All right, so it is 8:51. I said I would do this for about an hour. Look, last minute, if you have a Rumble account, jump on Rumble. Let's have a conversation. If not, send in your questions. Last minute, what are some questions that you wish we could answer? No, no worries. I guarantee this is not the last that you've heard of me. Um, y'all have to deal with me for at least another year. Um, so yeah. Let's see. Any last questions? Anything that we can answer or talk about, or anything before we close it out? Because we just wanted to do it for an hour and then kind of see how it goes and start building this. Rumble is still very new for me, even though I've had it for a couple years. I haven't used it a lot, so we're starting to get back into using Rumble and Rumble Studio. YouTube going live is new. Um, if you Now I know you have YouTube, thy theology guy. Um, Make sure you go on YouTube and follow Worship for Life Ministries. I'm trying to get to the 1,000 follower, really the 500 followers. Um, and this will be my last little bit of a call, but check us out on Facebook, on YouTube, on Rumble, Worship for Life Ministries, Worship, the number 4, Life Ministries. Um, Facebook, you can go to Worship for Life Ministries, or you can go to Pastor Gabriel Landis. Both of those are mine. X is Pastor Gabe, I believe it is, that I that when I go live, I'll go live on X, but um, so make sure you follow me on all those accounts, because my hope is, again, that I'll be able to invest more time and more money into bringing a better type of program. But it's, we got to start somewhere. So this is me starting that. Um, and ideally, about this time is a pretty decent transition time that I can have a conversation or sing a song or something like that, especially during the summer. Um, but we'll see how it goes. All right, so make sure you follow on all the social medias. Um, and and yeah, and as I leave, I say this: God bless you. God allow every step that you go be blessed. To my students, I pray for you every day. To my graduating students, I pray that God will lead you to where you need to go. And to anyone that's watching, I pray that if you haven't got your life right with God, that you'll make that commitment to Him today and let Him lead you in your life. God bless you. And we will probably jump back in here kind of maybe on Monday. I'll let Saturday and Sunday be my own little thing. But God bless you. And hey, 8 to 9 o'clock. Um, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, we'll definitely be doing something. So watch out for us. All right. God bless you. All right. Thank you so much for watching on YouTube, Rumble. Hopefully we can get some more calls and stuff as the time as we have as we grow. That's what I'm looking for because I'm trying to